The other day in executive function lab, one of the parents asked me about college prep for her child with ADHD. And the scenario is basically this. She has a child with executive function challenges, ADHD, that is a junior, that is doing college prep stuff. And she asked if there was a roadmap or a checklist or how I would help her figure out what sorts of things had to be managed and how to help her kid throughout this time. Because in this case, her child is very, very resistant to taking responsibility for things, to self starting, to doing anything proactively, always waits till the last minute. So she's anticipating, this kiddo, junior in high school, for their junior and senior year, they have all these tasks to do for college prep, and they're going to wait till the last minute. And she doesn't want that to happen, but the kid doesn't want her help, doesn't want to do things proactively. What should she do? So we talked about a lot of things. So as I'm going through coaching with families, I really do a very deep dive in terms of how to strategize things like this. But in my perspective, from where I'm coming from as an executive function coach, I'm not looking at it from the perspective of what a college prep coach type person would do and giving you the checklist of all the things. But what I'm looking at it from is the perspective of that resistance to doing things, the lack of motivation around it, the organization, the planning, the time management, the focus, the concentration, the being able to piece things and chunk things into small parts so that they don't wait till the last minute. How to execute this massive set of subtasks to accomplish the main task, in this case for the kid getting into college, if that's what they choose to do, if that's something that's important to them, because college is not right for everything. And I'll obviously add that little side note in there. So what do I recommend in this case? And we talked about a lot of things, but the main thing I want to leave you with, if you're a parent in that sort of a situation, is this. The main takeaway for me with that is I really want to recommend that you, the parent, open up a document in Google Doc or whatever and make your own list, bulleted list of tasks and subtasks. So I would break it down into tasks and subtasks. There's even a way where you can check it off in Google. I probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably make columns and have the tasks and the subtasks. So you have a big task, let's say that's writing the college essay, and the subtasks might be getting it revised and edited, doing a draft, having the school counselor who you all are friendly with check it over, and doing research on how to write good ones, whatever the subtasks you think of that are, for example. So anyhow, to have the big tasks and the subtasks, at least for you, the parent, so that you can track this. Now, in having a master list of that stuff for you, the parent, saying, what do we need to do? We need to research colleges. We need to get this such and such book to research colleges. We need to ask so and so. They're a great resource. Whatever things you think go on this big, massive master list, which probably would be a page to 2 pages typed, I would guess, just to give you a frame of reference. Then what I would recommend is putting a few columns there and having a column for the order you're going to do those things, or the due dates if they are tasks that have deadlines on them, or the urgency. So let's say that you had a column for urgency. Now, if in this case they have 2 years for the student to do all these tasks, junior and senior year, they have summer break, they have a lot of time to do a lot of these tasks. So you can add a column for urgency, or you can do urgency with either an ABC, a 1, 2, 3, a red light, green light, yellow light, whatever you want. ABC, A being, okay, this is urgent. We need to get this done this summer, for example. B is, it would be nice to get this done. C is, it can wait. So having like an urgency chart or column where you can add that in. Again, if there's a deadline, putting the date of the deadline in, things like this. So that's how I would recommend it. The other thing I would recommend is having a column for duration, meaning that to work with your child and have them estimate how long do you think this thing will take. For example, if you said, how long do you think writing your college essay would take? And they said an hour, that's completely unrealistic. That is absolutely a lot of my students with executive function challenges, myself included when I was a student, would say something like that, but it's not realistic. But this is not an opportunity to tell your kid how unrealistic that is. That does not improve the relationship, does not improve buy-in, does not improve ownership for your child. However, it is a great opportunity to have the conversation with buy-in and ownership and a supportive relationship to be like, oh, why do you think it would take an hour? What are the parts of it? Can you explain that to me? I really want to understand. Tell me more, tell me more. And have them come to that conclusion that it would take more. So the point is if you have a column that says the duration might be hours, minutes, it might be weeks. It might take 3 weeks to get all this information or do this part, but you can help them to think through, because part of executive function is having a realistic, is developing the executive function skill sets to have a more realistic perception of how long, how much time and energy it will take to complete a task. And we, meaning people with executive function challenges, tend to be extremely off base and unrealistic. But it is a skill set that can be developed. So I would recommend a column for duration and then a column for the urgency or the deadlines or the priority. If you're doing priority, I haven't mentioned this yet, you could do an ABC priority, like this is an A, super high priority, B, medium priority, C, lower priority. So there's different ways that you can code that, but to have a master list that helps guide you with stuff like that, that's what I want to recommend to you. That is probably the biggest takeaway from our conversation the other day. So if you haven't checked out Executive Function Lab, it's a fantastic community of like-minded parents. You can check it out. Also, the summit's coming up again at executivefunctionsummit.com. You can check me out at executivefunctionlab.com or sethperler.com, where I have freebies and all sorts of stuff for you parents, teachers, and things to support students with executive function challenges. I want to wish you joy. I want to wish you peace of mind. And most important, I want to wish you connection with the people you care about in this precious blip of a life we have, particularly the kids in your life. I want to wish you connection. Take care. Please share my work if you like it. Give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Do you have anything to add to this conversation to help other people about how to help a kid who's prepping for college with executive function challenges? Take care.